Millions of dollars in rescue equipment is just sitting in a lot, unused, because the fire department can't afford to hire the mechanics to repair it. For years, the LAFD union president warned that a disaster like the Palisades fire could happen.
This is a woefully understaffed fire department.
Two bombshell reports just dropped, one by CNN, one by LA Times, exposing all the lies by Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass. It also exposes that the mayor was warned years ago, and as recently as this month, that something like this could happen, and she chose not to prepare at all. Now, while everyone on X defending the Democrats thinks they know what they're talking about, this CNN reporter interviews a LA fire captain and shows video of firefighters and city councilors going to the LA council meetings and pleading for more support and funding for the fire department. Now let's play this interview. The fire captain gets emotional because he knows that this catastrophic damage could have been prevented. Watch.
Not long before deadly wildfires broke out in Los Angeles, firefighters were sounding the alarm about major staffing shortfalls inside the city's fire department. Our senior investigative correspondent, Kyung La, digging into the story for us. Kyung, a new CNN analysis backs up those concerns about staffing. Tell us more.
You know, we've heard sort of the back and forth about fire budgets involving the current mayor, but this is an issue that precedes this mayor. This is years in the making. The fire department has warned of dire consequences, saying that they need more money, they need more firefighters, and they warned of this as recently as last month. At that commission meeting, you said, it's dire, someone will die.
It's eerie listening to your words because that's what occurred. So let me just take a minute. Sorry.
Fire Captain Freddy Escobar,
You're not supposed to make me cry.
35-year veteran of the Los Angeles Fire Department, wishes he'd been wrong.
That's why Gavin Newsom's excuse that these are historic wins, that they couldn't have anticipated them, that they couldn't have prepared for them, is unacceptable. But even using a Democrat's own logic, they would still be lying about this. They're the biggest proponents of climate change. They're the ones saying that it's an existential threat to humanity. They're the ones saying that it's the reason for all these natural disasters occurring. So if you really believe that, and California leads the nation in environmental regulations, then why didn't you prepare for the eventuality that a catastrophic natural disaster would happen in your city? Now, while Mayor Karen Bass insists that the fire department's budget hasn't been cut, she says it's gone up actually, it's increased. Listen to the fire captain say the exact opposite. They are understaffed and underfunded. Watch.
For years, the LAFD union president warned that a disaster like the Palisades fire could happen. And while the cataclysmic weather conditions were historic, Escobar also blames something predictable that hurt the firefight: money.
This is a woefully understaffed fire department. We either going to have a fire department that's going to reflect 2025, or we're going to have a fire department that's going to reflect the 1960s.
A CNN analysis shows out of the 10 biggest cities in the nation, Los Angeles ranks 9th when it comes to the number of firefighters per resident. And it shows millions of dollars in rescue equipment is just sitting in a lot, unused, because the fire department can't afford to hire the mechanics to repair it.
Every citizen of California who watches that video showing a lot full of unusable firefighting equipment should be livid. California has the highest tax rate in the nation. Los Angeles has a monstrous budget. The state of California spends $23 billion per year on benefits for illegal immigrants. When you're getting taxed more than anywhere else and the government is not funding its fire department, that's when people start putting on the red Trump hat. Because while the citizen was expecting that his tax dollars was going to having a fire department that could stop the city from burning down, you were more interested in DEI initiatives. The fact that Los Angeles is 9th for firefighters per capita, when California and Los Angeles have all that money, and besides the occasional earthquake, Forest fires are your #1 natural disaster? You would think they would be higher on that ranking. Now let's get into the next part where they show city council meetings of both firefighters and city councilors begging to fix this before the city catches on fire. Watch.
LA's fire chief said in a recent memo the fire department's staffing levels were half the size of what they should be.
If we cut one position, if we close one station, if we close one resource, the residents of Los Angeles are going to pay the ultimate sacrifice, and someone will die.
Just last month, fire personnel packed an LA Fire Commission meeting, begging the city to rethink the budget.
These cuts came at exactly the wrong time, with calls for services at an all-time high and our firefighters at their breaking point.
We are straining our department's resources beyond the brink, and we cannot continue on this path.
City Councilwoman Tracy Park was there too.
There are large swaths of the city with no emergency response resources available.
Are we going to be having the same conversation next year and the year after?
We can't. We can't.
Isn't it shameful that the mayor of LA and Gavin Newsom won't take accountability for this? They keep pointing the finger at everybody else. They keep saying that cold, hard facts are lies because they're trying to protect their reputations. When they know they're responsible, reports like this just give us undeniable evidence. And I bet they're still going to try to spin it in some way, deny the claims, deny the facts, because these people are power hungry. They like the high society California life and the dinners and the galas. They love gallivanting around with your taxpayer dollar, throwing it at whatever project tickles them that day. They both look like they're realizing for the first time in their lives that they hold serious jobs. They're flabbergasted that people are holding them accountable for a fire breaking out and spreading around Los Angeles, which is now the biggest fire in California or even US history. But this second bombshell report comes from the LA Times that exposed that 1,000 firefighters and dozens of engines were available to be pre-positioned in anticipation of these record wins. But were they used, do you think? Of course not. We just heard from the fire captain that the city knew something like this could happen for years now, but instead of playing it safe and pre-positioning them in the Palisades, they decided not to utilize them. This is all while the mayor knew about the wins and still decided to go to Africa. So now, on top of not having enough firefighters to begin with, now you're not utilizing all the firefighters you do have. But listen to Gavin Newsom say just a few days ago that they were pre-positioned.
J.D. Vance was on television today talking about lack of competency on your part.
Okay.
What do you say to? You've heard this almost every single day.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him. Hurricanes that were attached to fires, unprecedented wind experiences, heroic firefighters from all across the United States. We got folks from Texas, we got folks from Wyoming that have been pounding on this, the best next-gen technology. We've got these fire hawks, guys with night vision goggles, pounding these fires 24/7. We've got thousands of National Guard men and women that have been on here. We pre-positioned 120 engines, helicopters, dozers, water tenders. We did that on Sunday, 2 days before this event.
I just don't get it. If you thought the risk of a fire starting was so great that you pre-positioned most of your fire unit, why wouldn't you have pre-positioned the rest of the available firefighters? And these are firefighters available for pre-positioning, not just firefighters in general. It is that kind of mind-boggling decision-making that is forcing people to call for the resignation of Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. They seem to not understand that it doesn't matter. God could have struck down Los Angeles himself and you couldn't have done anything about it. If your city burns to the ground and you're in charge, you're getting fired. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.